Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this session. This is a session on domain-specific AI applications, and we have our first presenter. So, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, thanks for being here. My name is Xiyang Hu. I'm an assistant professor at Arizona State University. So I'm from School of Business, but I'm also affiliated with School of Engineering. So I'm going to present our new framework on DrugAgent. So it's a framework on automating AI-added drug discovery through the collaboration of multiple language model agents. To begin with, let me set the stage by looking at the big picture of the drug discovery. So, developing new medicine is actually one of the most significant challenges for modern science. It's a process that is very complex, highly expensive, and has a very low success rate. So how does this process look like from an idea to the final drug we can use on the patients? So the first step is called target identification. So what is a target? So target is basically something that play a role in a disease. So let's say it could be a gene sequence. It also could be some like protein. For example, for COVID-19, it's a spike protein. And after we have some like initially identified target, we need to do some like validation. Basically, we need to see, if we change or block this target, will it help treat the disease? So that's called a target validation. And after we have a very clear target, we need to go to find something called a hit. So what is hit? A hit is basically a kind of chemical compound that can bind with a target to somehow help you treat the disease. So that's called a hit. So once the scientists found a reasonable hit, they need to do some refinement. Basically, they need to generate a hit into something called a lead molecule. So after the lead molecule, there would be some continued optimization. So we need to somehow keep tweaking this molecule to make sure it is more safer and more efficient. So that's called the lead molecule. And once we got a promising molecule, before we can start experiment on human beings, we need to actually start at a stage called preclinical trial. So there are two types of preclinical trials. So the first kind of trial happens on like lab dishes. We can use some cells to test the drug. And another kind of like preclinical trial is happening on living animals. So this preclinical trial may aim to investigate the following perspective, including like toxicity, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, and of course efficacy. So after we have a promising results for all these like four perspectives, we can start our clinical trial. So there are like 3 phases in clinical trial, and each phase is designed to answer like different questions. For example, is the drug safe enough? What is the right dose? And does it really work on these patients? So here, now this is a tough thing. So the whole process actually can take over like 13 to 15 years. And the total expenses can be over 1 to 2 billions. And even with such a long timeline and high success rates, it often happens that more than 90% of the drugs entering the clinical trial stage didn't successfully make the finish line, either because they turned out to have some safety issues or they just don't work as expected. So that's the tough challenge or the serious bottleneck of this drug discovery process. But with artificial intelligence, actually we can speed up the process. So for example, especially for the preclinical, because it's mainly like experiments, we can use AI to facilitate. For example, for the target identification stage, AI can quickly screening this biological data. For example, they can screening the genetic information. They can also screening the disease pathways so that we can quickly know which target is related to the disease. So in addition to like target, AI can also help find a hit, because AI can do some high throughput screening through a large chemical databases to find what molecules could bind well with the target. And for sure, AI can also like suggest how we tweak the molecule. So we can keep tweaking the molecule, and AI can predict which kind of tweaking has a better efficacy or safety. So AI is so promising, especially given the three major advances in recent years. First, data. So there are a lot of high-quality machine-readable data in biology and chemistry. For example, we have a lot of data on how drugs are absorbed, metabolized, and also cleared by human body. So it's called ADMET dataset. We also have a lot of records on high throughput screening, as well as drug-target interaction. So in addition to this kind of drug data, we also have a lot of language databases. One is on like chemistry, for example, PubChem, and another is on protein, for example, the AlphaFold database. In addition to that, the second important stride is in model. So we now have like pre-trained large language model for sure. But in science, we also have pre-trained model on, for example, ChemBerta for molecules, and ESM2 for protein. And in addition, there are some like cross-modal model that can input multimodalities. For example, they can combine the protein sequence with the molecule structure as input to predict the drug target interaction. And what's more exciting is the emergence of agentic workflows. We now have AI systems that can plan, can reason, can use external tools, and can and retrain the model on itself. And the last thing is computation. We have huge size GPU clusters. And in addition to hardware, we have many advanced software libraries or software compilers that can facilitate the training speed and inference latency. And in addition to this two, we also have some hardware. Actually, they can combine, they can connect the AI training with some network to finish the gap between AI training and the sweet lab work. So here's the thing. So with this huge data, smarter model, and the faster computation, you can see headlines today saying, actually, in a few years, maybe we will say AI will fully develop new drug totally on its own. But in reality, we haven't seen such a huge impact so far. So the fundamental question is if this is so promising, what is holding us back right now? So one of the most critical bottleneck is actually the implementation gap. So even we have these potentials, actually there is a big challenge in translating their theoretical AI, like high-level theoretical AI idea, into robust executable code, especially in such a highly specialized pharmaceutical science, because it's not a very simple software engineering thing. It's a highly specialized, so it requires you to have expertise in biology, chemistry, and you need to know the principles in pharmaceutical science. At the same time, you need to be an expert in machine learning and computer science. So this is why we often see general agents fail in this study, because they don't have the necessary domain knowledge required to navigate such a complex drug discovery tasks. Some common issues we see, including like they call wrong libraries. They would do like wrong pre-processing to biological data. Also somehow misinterpret biological data just as regular like spreadsheet, and it's often like a lot of like domain subtleties. So in order to tackle this question, we propose our drug agent framework. So it's a collaborative multi-agent framework, which contains like two distinct roles. So the first role is called a planner. So what a planner is like a high-level strategist. So it will formulate, given a task, it will formulate high-level idea space, some high-level solution strategies. And this strategy will then pass down to instructor. And it will also get back the experiment report generated by the instructor. And then it will update this plan and start the next iteration. So another role is called the instructor. So the instructor is like a domain-specific machine learning expert. So what instructor does is it would translate the high-level idea from the planner into actually really executable code. And through this process, the important thing is we incorporate these domain knowledges, domain documentations, and the domain tools from chemistry and bioinformatics so that the instructor knows when to call this domain libraries or tools and what and where to incorporate these steps into the solving coding structure. So that's the instructor part. So here the planner and instructor part work in a continuous iterative loop. So given a task, the planner would generate solution ideas high-level way, and the solution space is pretty diverse. And within such a diverse high-level idea space, the instructor would convert these ideas into Python code. And the instructor is able to run the executable Python code on its own, generate the experiment report, and send the report back to the planner. And the planner will do some analysis on the report and make some suggestions on some refined next step solution ideas. And then we're starting the next step to improve the solution code. So this table shows the major key difference between our drug agent and some existing work. So there are three important aspects our drug agent has covered. One is for machine learning tasks specialized, is for machine learning coding. And the second one, it incorporates domain knowledge from the pharmaceutical science. And the last one is we have the ideal space planning ability to generate high-level diversified solution strategies. So in order to test or evaluate our drug agent framework, we use these three critical and representative tasks in pharmaceutical development. The first is called ADMET prediction. Basically, it predicts the safety and efficacy of a drug. And the second one task is called high throughput screening. Basically, how well the drug agent performs to identify potential active chemical compound from a large chemical libraries. And the third one is drug target interaction. So it predicts how well the binding it is before the target and the drug. And we compare with four baselines. One is chain of thought, the second one is React, and the third one is research agent, and the last one is human expert. And here's our result. So we have two metrics. One is IUC AOC, and another is valid rate. Valid rate is basically how robust it is to generate executable code. So as you can see, our drug agent actually outperform all AI-based baselines, COT, React, and research agent. And in two of these three tasks, we actually outperform human experts. And we also done some ablation studies to see what if we only have one of the agents. So without planner, there is a decrease in AUC, IUC, but the valid rate is still the same because the planner can diversify the idea, but the instructor is the one who actually generates executable code. So that's the reason why the valid rate is the same. But without an instructor, there's a larger decrease in IUC, AOC, but there's also a larger decrease in the valid rate. And we want to know why the domain knowledge matters. So we have some case study. So as you can see, the red one is a React agent. The reason why it doesn't perform well is it often fails to identify the need for the domain knowledge. For example, in this case, it means the lead for the protein processing, and they don't have like the ability to refine the ideal space and diversify the ideal space. So that's why it often generates suboptimal method and fail to diversify the solutions. And we also have an error analysis to see what kind of error is happening across these models. So the key takeaway here is that for drug agent, the overall error rate is the lowest. So we sum all of this bar together, and as you can see, a drug agent only have hallucination error, but don't have any other error. Yeah. And one more important thing is, since we incorporate domain knowledge, there is no domain errors at all. So in conclusion, our drug agents make an advancement for the AI-aided drug discovery programming. And some future things we think this field can do is we can somehow incorporate more and more this surging domain-specific documentation libraries, and with it a more comprehensive benchmark to benchmark the ability in drug discovery. And one more thing is, how about if we have like human in the loop to interact with the agent? How would it change the landscape of drug discovery? So that's it. And you can access this drug agent publicly. And I'm happy to take any questions or comments.
Oh, thank you, Shi. And we have time for one question.
What's the expert let's make the error type? So it's not the smart sorry, the error part.
Oh, okay.
So so the React even had no hallucination.
No.
And it's shared on most of the task event. But
Yeah, because React Agent is a general agent framework. It's not even a scientific research one like research agent. It's more general than the research agent.
do you see those? Do you feel that there is any correlation that you have to success on the discovery? Because it is clear it costs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it could relate to the final successful discovery, successful rate, definitely.
Because it is the models that you have both have something that is.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly one thing we should address in like future work to see how we can mitigate hallucination. Do I have time? Which one first?
That you got the studies to so there's a lot of TP to start with one to still make knowledge.
Oh, there's no fine tuning at all. There's no fine tuning.
About Facebook to
We didn't do any fine tuning.
Facebook to make knowledge.
Yeah, we incorporate this domain-specific like libraries, tools into this instruct agent.
First thing I do is look at the price for its wide advantage.
The intuition is one, it's diversify the solution space, and other is a reflection loop. So I think that's why it improves. Yeah. Okay, thank you, and we can discuss offline. Sorry.
Go ahead.